work my fingers to the bone. I never get to go home. This is my ever wanted life, man, if that's destiny. I work my fingers to the bone. I never get to go home. This is my ever wanted life, man, if that's destiny. Damn, I destroyed myself, but you contributed. I destroyed myself, but you helped. I destroyed myself, but you contributed.
Hello, everybody. This is Johnathan Grissom, Morebands Media, and the local Earshot podcast. I am here with J.D. Scott, the photographer of Oklahoma City. How you doing?
How's it going, guys?
Just like looking all weird because now you're on camera.
Yeah,
it's a little different, right?
It is.
It's like the audio is a lot easier, like to deal with than noticing that you're actually on camera.
Right.
So actually, why I brought JD on here today was that we were going to talk about the event coming up and all the artists side of it. So on the September 23rd at the Core4 Brewing Company, they are having an art show, and it will have three bands. There's Lowdown Weasel.
Yep.
The Rumble and the Costanzas, and then a whole list of different artists that are different types of art types and all sorts of stuff. So it definitely come out. From what I hear, it's like I saw kids there with their parents and stuff. So it looks like it's an all age type brewery, and so like multiple people can go there and everything, and check out some art, check out some food trucks. They're going to be there and just have a good time. You know, I know earlier on in the day, there's another event that I was told about by our teacher that over by Tower Theater on 23rd, there's going to be a block party. So there's going to be some bands playing there. So if you're going to come out for that, was that at nighttime, right? Yeah. And then
it's actually the art show starts at 6 and the band's going at 8.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know the time span on the other ones. So I know that's going to be a conflicting event with this event. The moment that I heard my teacher say it, I actually was like, "Fuck." And I even told him that after class. I said, "Damn, like you just kicked me." And he goes, "What?" And I was like, "We literally are like trying to run an event on September 23rd." And I was like, "And you just said that festival block party is on September 23rd, which means a lot of people are probably going to go to that."
Well, okay, the 23rd. I'm thinking of the November show where they put it on the 22nd, where everybody's going to be gone.
Yeah,
nobody's going to be at that show.
Yeah,
I don't think.
I don't know. I mean, it really depends. I mean, if it's falling around the end of the month toward Thanksgiving time frame, it's possible. Yeah, if it's falling like right before or if it's falling right after, then that's not so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually your holidays, even Christmas, like normally for Thanksgiving, I like I did last year, but I mean, actually in 22 I had COVID. I think it was like 2022, 21 that I had COVID, and I did a recording of all the artists that had been on the show, all their music and stuff from the year, and just kind of did like a little like recording like that.
Yeah.
And then over Christmas, I do a Christmas special, which I normally have on Christoph Murdoch as the punk rock Santa.
Yeah.
So like that's usually that's become like the tradition for the show. Yeah, that he comes on as Santa, and we just kind of act like it's Christmas and stuff. But I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to do this year. That especially if I get cameras and I have everything in order, then I'm gonna make something that's a little more video type thing involving Chris or Christoph. So yeah. Tell me a little bit about this show. Well, actually, kind of refresh everybody like who you are, what you do, and like and kind of like what you've been doing around the city lately, and kind of catch up a little bit, and then we can talk about the show.
Well, my name's J.D. Scott. I'm a photographer here in Oklahoma City. I'm mainly a band photographer. I shoot burlesque too, so tits, ass, and bands pretty much my jam.
Nice.
So I can tell you, the show's called the Punk Rock Art Show, and it's all ages. There's going to be food trucks there. Also, Chase Vegas is going to be the 8-ball reader, the Magic 8-ball reader. Also, I'd like to tell you the artists that are actually going to be in the show, so you'll know who's going to be there. Me, J.D. Scott. We've got Kat Pierce, Emily Terranova, Cody Thompson, Zachary Taylor, Ari Collins, Chris Allen, Antonio Ramirez, Natalie Cameron, Harold Neal, Micah Wesley, and Ostentatious. Those are all going to have pieces there.
And what kind of pieces do a lot of them make?
They're mainly
paintings.
It's paintings mainly.
I'm
a photographer. I think there's another photographer there.
Are they like abstract? Or are you talking like?
It's mainly
like
abstract stuff that I saw.
Nice. Okay. Let me see.
But yeah, it's at Core4 Brewing, Saturday the 23rd. Art starts at 6 and band started at 8.
Yeah, it was a pretty awesome little brewery, honestly, that I went in there. They have a little bitty like art area that's like on the walls as you go to the bathroom. And I've seen some pieces like what I do.
Yeah, Jay motherfucking Roberts was hanging there when I saw that
And who's
wall.
Jay Roberts?
It's JMF Roberts, but
Okay.
he's a punker guy that's pretty well known in Oklahoma City, I guess. I mean,
For like art stuff. Was he the guy that did like the music style type art? Because there was like a whole exhibit at what was it? The Speakeasy.
Oh, the Speakeasy. Yeah,
Yeah, they had an event there.
Tried to steal the show. It's just still the idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Speakeasy does other things and they actually had the layout for it too. But they do stuff that like that anyway. They've been doing that stuff for a while.
Well, I thought that I also heard yesterday from Chris that they named it pretty much the same thing too, almost the exact same.
No, they
thing.
call it what? Punk Rock Art Show.
It's almost something like that. That's totally ripping it off.
Yeah,
and so they took the idea and didn't have.
I don't know. I mean, I know they do Robot Save City for James Nem the comic.
Yeah,
he does a thing called Robot Save City, and like the idea is that there's a bunch of mid-level comics that are they're not at the high level, so they're not getting the big shows, and they're not getting the mid shows, and a lot of times because of Oklahoma City being a flyover, which is something that I actually want to talk about, but they call it a flyover, and so like they'll go to Tulsa and then they'll go to Dallas or they'll go to like Houston. They won't come through here,
No.
and so a lot of artists they avoid Oklahoma City because they believe that there's not enough money for it or whatever reason, but they have their reasons why they don't do it, and for each artist, and so the Robot Save City idea was like that he has a comedy show upstairs at Speakeasy, and in those comics that are like up in Tulsa, he'll talk to them and they'll come down and do a show real quick in Oklahoma City, and then go back up and then go back down to Dallas. So they'll travel down instead of going over or flying out from Tulsa to even just the airport here and then to Dallas or wherever they do.
Yeah, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Dallas.
Yeah, so because a lot of times they'll come through here, they just don't stay here. They'll go through the airport and they'll stay at the airport and like a layover or something like that, but they may not come through the city. Yeah. So that's kind of why a lot of the bigger artists don't come through Oklahoma City. But like the idea of like a flyover, it's this weird concept in like the music schools and stuff. They're talking about like that Oklahoma has a rich history in music. I don't know if you know that, but like it has a really rich history. You're talking like
Guthrie.
Deep Bellum had major studios. The Guthrie, like there's just been like there's Woody Guthrie, like all these like famous artists like that people know in the country scene, like people know that historically coming through Oklahoma that was like that we were known for a lot of these artists that came out of music, and a lot of the recordings from a lot of famous artists have been recorded here, but yet like for some reason there was a time frame, and I don't know when it happened because I've been told different things that. I went into the military in 2006. From there was City Walk. There was about 4 to 5 venues in downtown in Bricktown. There is no venues in Bricktown like that. Really, I mean, there's like maybe 1 or 2 now. Like there's ones coming up now. There's Bear City, and then there's Criterion. There's big ones. Like those are mid-sized, like big ones. But there's no like smaller venues anymore, and a lot of them are either themed. They're to these different themes, like there's the Poe Club now, which I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that because I read on their website that it said that they were still playing top 40 and stuff, which
No.
tells me that if they're not playing goth music, then it's just a fad idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're just trying to like cover up the fact that they were part of the club that actually had all those issues. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to call them out on that because I know that owning a venue is hard and you have no control over people doing that stuff in your venue in real truth, because in security, like, people would get in fights and all sorts of stuff at venues, and you just have to deal with it. So I mean, they really don't have no control over that. But I mean, but if changing your name and then presenting a new idea real quick was a way to cover it up, I don't think that that's going to work nowadays.
You'd have to revamp the whole place.
Yeah, you would have to
make it look
remodel
new.
everything and
Yeah.
shut everything down and actually make it look like that you actually did that. But if you just buy some lights, change some colors, add some gargoyles, and then just call it a different name and say it's a different club and you're trying to gear to a different crowd, that same crowd is still going to show up. For a while, until they get
They'll
sick
try
of
it
that.
out, at
Yeah,
least.
they'll try it out because they'll, and then also other things that it said on their website is that they require like a payment up front, which I think is another idea that they're using to try to keep certain people out.
Oh, really?
Like, because I mean the issues that they had, I don't know if you heard about that, like the parrot, the pink parrot or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
There was like a knife stabbing, or there was like shootings, and so like they shut down.
I know the what is it, Double Barrel Saloon?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's Double Barrel Saloon. I think, but they
Oh,
had
you're talking about the one in that's what they're talking
That
about
had
on. They were talking
shooting.
about that on Rumble. That there was a shooting there. It was like an actual club shooting.
Yeah, it was.
But it was like a biker club shooting
Yeah.
type thing, which I don't touch that stuff because like that ain't none of my business, and I don't. I'll just keep all those stories to that because I don't want them to get on their radar because I'm cool with most of the biker groups
Totally.
that are out here in Oklahoma, so I'm not going to get on their radar.
Right on.
But yeah, like they but yeah, like, bad things happen in clubs, and so like you have to try to figure out how to rebrand and everything. And the idea is that you can either shut down and then you just recreate something real quick, or you just stay open and you just face it, And so sometimes they'll just have money behind it, investors and stuff that will just tell them to shut down and recreate real quick, and so they'll do that, and that's what they call like fad bars in major cities. They have a different theme every month. It's almost like when you go to those places that say like, oh, we're going out of business sales and like furniture, They're never actually going out of business. They're just running the same sell and calling it a going out of business sell every week, and somehow they get away with that, and people just ignore the fact that they're doing it because I guess they get a good deal. I don't know why people fall for that, or if people just know that they're falling for it,
Yeah.
But yeah, like I thought about checking out that club though, but whenever I read on the website and said it was mostly top 40, I was like, okay, well, if they're gonna play the same music that they were playing before, and it's not gonna be more like goth industrial, then it's not really matching the theme.
What's it called again?
Poe.
Poe.
Yeah, it's just Poe. It's like Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, okay.
Type. Yeah, it has like a raven
That
on the
makes
door
sense.
and stuff. But yeah, and then down there like JJ's Alley, I've always liked that that place and stuff. But yeah, there's not many different little venues, and there's ones that are being built, and then ones are being moved. Like I was seeing online that a few of the venues here were moving around, and so I don't know if they were just getting too big or if they're moving to a smaller environment or what. But like some of them are moving, and so that opens up property. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure. I think 89th, from what I read online, they had a post. I don't know if it was actually them, but it said that they were moving over here on this side of town.
Really?
So I'm hoping that they're moving to a bigger building and that they're
Yeah.
actually expanding and not retracting.
Yeah.
Because that does mean that property, unless there was a regulation and stuff done on it recently or something, then why they're moving, that property on Western is going to open up.
Yeah.
And if that goes up for sale, that's a
That's a
pre-designed venue to
Right.
start out. Like
Right.
if you're starting a venue, so like hands up, like if people are interested, like I'm looking. So because it'd be nice to be able to open up a venue or something out here and just run it, But yeah, I like the idea that you're talking about, where like a lot of these art the different stuff are coming together. Like the art people are talking to the music people and stuff. Because honestly, like a big part of what Oklahoma has a lot of problems with is culture, and it's like, you know, some people say that, you know, that it's all country and it's all this and all that. My playlist episodes show that there's a huge group of people that are not being represented.
Okay.
I mean, like
bands,
like bands, like metal, rock, punk.
I know,
like that.
bands.
They're not being represented as much.
Right.
Some punk gets a little more
they
representation out here.
That's all Destiny.
Then because of Destiny,
totally.
and also like a little bit at the Blue Note. And a couple other places, like we'll play them. We'll play them, you know. Yeah, John, the Booker at Blue Note, you know, and so they'll play some of those artists that other venues won't. And a lot of times, what I've been told by some of these teachers is that it's not that they won't play your band, like at their venue. It's that they only work with people that they know are serious. And so if you want to be considered a serious band, there's a few things that you have to do. You have to have an EPK.
EPK, of course.
You have to have a possible music video or live performance that you can show.
Yep, you do.
You have to have music online, Spotify, all that kind of stuff. If you have a website, that's great.
Yep.
If you have social media accounts set up, they also want you to have a certain amount of users on these accounts, at least 1,000 or more.
Never heard
for
that.
the smaller venues and stuff. Well, that's what they're looking for because they look at it as, okay, how many plays do they have on Spotify? How many plays is there?
That makes
because they
sense.
tell them to promote too.
Okay.
And if they're promoting as a venue and you're promoting, then you're more likely to have people show up. So that's why, that's why during this event, you know, like they have you promoting all the art stuff. They have all the artists probably promoting.
Yeah.
They got, you know, I saw Chuck walking around the venues and just handing out flyers for the old school
He's been
street
doing that
team
for
stuff,
3
right?
weeks, man. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Too
So I
early.
mean, it's like we're really like getting the word out. Like that's what you have to do, and it's so I mean it takes time. It takes about a month before you do a show.
I'm still getting the groups where I placed that poster, the show poster. I shared I think 327 times to 327 groups, and got kicked off Facebook twice for 2 hours each, or an hour each from groups.
Thought you were a bot.
Yeah, I thought I was spamming.
Yeah,
Called me a
it was
spammer.
yeah. That's what. Yeah.
I am. I will. It's the fastest, easiest way to advertise.
I mean,
do it.
like it's like that whole concept of once a day, which is something that everybody should probably know about too. If you're a listener of music and you follow on all these social media websites, is the @everyone tag.
Oh God, I hate that.
And
thing.
the
Everybody hates that
and
thing.
the @followers tag.
I know. and
Everybody
you do too.
hates it now.
You do it too, dude.
But here's the thing. Exactly, you said that right. You know
I know.
why?
Why?
You know why? Why you do it?
It pisses
You're
people
allowed to do it once a day. Only once a day. That Facebook
Oh,
is
they have a
limited
rule
down to
against
once
it?
a day. Yeah, you can only do that once a day. You can't do it on every post you do.
I didn't know
Like,
that.
You can only do it
I didn't
once a
know
day.
that even
yeah,
had a
yeah.
thing
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
It's
Okay.
once a day. It says once a day you can use this feature. If not, it doesn't actually activate it. It just shows it in black, right?
I've seen those.
But if you actually do this feature, then it sends a message to in your comments to all your followers of that group and page. And it says you were tagged in this, and then people open it, and then suddenly it says, you know, something like what I put, which is more respectful. It's like, hey, everybody, I hate doing this,
I
but
saw
this
it.
is the other way to
That's
get
what
you to
that-
see it.
Yeah,
Right?
I understand.
That's why people are doing it, because here's the thing. There's another option. I could show it up to 4,000 people or 3,000 people if I pay $50 to Facebook. Or I can show it to the 800 people that are in my page, or the 400 people that are in my group,
That's free. You can
and
do it
that's free to do that one little check mark
Yeah.
thing. But then people are saying, yeah, but people are leaving groups and stuff. Another issue that I'm noticing on Facebook, and this is a call out to all the admins of pages, because I've been asked. And I've been joining as an admin to a bunch of pages after saying this, so maybe I need to stop saying it, because apparently you guys are just having me come in and fix the problem. Is that there's a lot of porn coming up on all the chats. So they created the chats.
Oh, were the
and
girls
then-
from OnlyFans try to?
Yeah, not even that.
knock
Like,
in?
well, yeah. So like they're coming from the what do you call it? The girls are coming from just random pages that are created. A lot of times they're created by bots.
Okay.
And then they're link aggregator bots. So what they do is that they and I guess, this episode, I guess I could talk about a little bit about my technical stuff, but oh, excuse me, sorry. But what they do is these bots are able to like create pages. So they create pages, and then after that they join groups, and they just sit there and go through Facebook and just join groups.
Okay.
Which is why you probably got cited as bot,
I
because
got
you do
a
it too
fucking
fast.
shitload.
But the thing is, these people are smart. They have it. A person can actually end up looking like a bot because they'll go too fast.
I did
but
that.
but
That's
there but you can put timers on clickers, and you can put timers on all these different apps like that you make in the algorithm that you make, or whatever thing you're using to make this like app that will do this.
Yeah.
And so like you can make the application go click, and then a few seconds later click. A few
Okay.
seconds later click, and so then you're having it like do it less. And it's slower, so then it thinks it's a person doing it.
Yeah.
So, like, what it'll do is it'll just join a shit ton of groups. And then these admins, they don't have questions. For one, that's the major thing. They don't have questions on their entry fee to get into the group.
Yeah.
So, like, when you open up the group and you say, you want to join this group, answer these questions. I have 3 questions on mine. I have, who's your favorite local artist? Are you in a band? Are you in the music industry? And then a third question that is actually designed where when you read it, it throws you off. So you won't actually, like, people put math problems in them, things like that. So it throws you off, so you can't get it right.
Okay.
And so then a bot would never, ever be able to answer that question correctly.
Yeah.
Only a person would.
Yeah.
And so, I read for that, but that's called vetting. So like what you're doing is you're like bringing in the people into the group, and then you're seeing if they're real.
Yeah.
I click on profiles. I look over their profile real
do
quick,
I.
notice that they're actually in a either in a band or whatever they're saying, or if they're certain things. So then I look for certain things. So whenever I accept them, I know that most likely I'm looking for it, and it's still possible I could get hit with one. Still, I'm not ever going to say I can't, but it's less likely chance that I'll ever have those problems in my chats that I've created. And I mean, and we don't, and nobody ever uses the chats that we have in our, like, the group. Like, no one uses that shit. So-
I don't think they know about it
so
yet.
yeah, nobody really. I didn't need to
new.
start sharing them, but
Yeah.
like those other groups though, like Oklahoma looking for musicians, their rock section and their blues section both had nudity in it. Apparently, somebody was telling me, and maybe reach out to the person. Maybe if you listen to the show, like you can talk about it, and I can kind of set you up with how to do it. But but the person that runs that group, I was told that they abandoned the group. So, like, at some point they gave up and they just, like, left the group running.
Yeah.
And so they don't do anything in it. So they just let it run rampant.
Do they accept posts through there still?
Yeah, that's the thing, is
but
that the
nobody's
post is
watching
that
it.
nobody's watching it.
I got it.
Nobody's monitoring anything.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if the posts are ever actually getting on there, because if they have to review or any of the posts, then but they might have turned off that feature too and just said screw it and just let it run, because
Yeah.
it's like 3,500 people, so they just didn't want to like make everybody feel bad, tell them that they're shutting the group down, so they probably just left it run and then just took themselves out as an admin, and then now it's just a group on rampant like, control,
Yeah.
But I have seen that it says moderator pulled, so like I'm wondering if he still has moderators out there that are still trying to manage it. And I mean, but a lot of groups are like that. On the groups I have, they're smaller right now, so it's not as easy. I mean, it's easier to monitor that stuff. It's not going to get hit as hard as those other groups are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been watching that. But that's the thing though, is that you have to do that stuff in those groups, because if you don't, then you'll be like me, where I was in the middle of class and I was trying to show my teacher something. And, and I'm almost 40 years old. I'm 38 and I'm in college, and I'm trying to show this teacher something. And I pull up my phone and I open up the group, because that's where that's where this person posted it, was in this chat. And instantly there was nudity. And he goes, oh, it's like, what's up with that? And I go,
It is a private chat, though.
It's
I
a
wonder
private
if
chat.
it-
Yeah,
I
they're all
wonder if
private
it-
chats, like private chats technically. Like the they're public chats a lot of
Yeah.
times in those groups, but they're private technically.
Yeah.
Because everybody that's in that group is the only people that see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, oh, and then I had to explain to him what's happening, that these bots keep on joining the groups and then
Yeah.
uploading porn, and he's like, man, those admins need to really get on their shit then, and that's kind of like. That's the thing, is that what ends up happening is like what I did, where at some point everybody just leaves.
Yeah.
And it's almost like that's what they want to happen. They want everybody just to leave the chats and stop talking to each other and just...
I was in an adult group probably about 5 years ago or something at Facebook. And I was actually in about 5 of them. And they actually asked me to be a moderator for one of them. They liked the way I talk dirty because everybody was talking dirty to each other, but it wasn't hitting on each other. Everybody was just talking about sex, right?
Yeah.
And just talking about different positions and what they like and whatever. But yeah, it was pretty weird
To be asked to be a moderator on a...
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
Facebook.
check how much, if it's not bad enough, or if it's not, it's too bad. Then
Well-
we gotta stop them.
Well, at the time when they did that, after they did that, they sent me an application to join Facebook. I mean, to actually work for Facebook, because
Facebook was asking.
They sent me an application, and I fucking
weird.
filled it out, and they didn't do anything with it. They got mad at me, I guess. But the deal is, they ask you these questions in this questionnaire before they give you the whole spiel, the whole paper. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about now. What was I talking about? I do
About
this all the
Facebook
time.
and like
I don't know. Cat.
cats are outside fighting. Let me see. I'm gonna bring up some. Probably should have brought this up before the show. I'm gonna bring up some music from that. So
I want to hear what Low Down Weasel sounds like. I've been talking to them, and they kind of expressed some interest in doing some promo shots for themselves, and they contacted me. I'm just still waiting.
yeah, I don't know why the last episode I called him low down Wessel.
Wessel.
Wessel. I was like, shit. Yeah, that was the wrong name. I was like, my bad, guys. Yeah, but yeah, they reached out to me. I'm trying to have on everyone that was a part of this event. To like get everyone on before the event happens. It's kind of an idea that I'm working on, where like if I pick a show that's happening and like who's all in it and stuff like that up until that day, then I can grab one show a month and just like try to have on the people that are in it to try to get more people to come out to those shows. But I don't know if it'll work. It's kind of just an idea. That and it's the same idea with the music playlist. Like once a month, I'm wanting to do playlist episodes where I just like create playlists and just submit songs. And
I think they should be all local bands, in my opinion.
I'm trying, and they're all local, but they're not all from Oklahoma. I can make that clear. That the one thing with the Facebook groups and Facebook and also podcasting is that there is people that do listen to the show that are not from Oklahoma. And I'm also joining groups that are not from Oklahoma. But the cool thing about that is that maybe if you're an artist in Oklahoma and you're trying to tour, or if you are looking for a band to come through and play with you that are touring, there's a possibility that we can make that connection where like you can find those artists through there and then be able to talk to each other. They could say, hey, we're coming through the Midwest.
Yeah.
Can we like partner with some people and then start getting them attached to some bands to put on some shows? Like that's kind of the idea behind it. You know? And so I mean it's just a matter of like just doing these different ideas, trying them out. If they don't work, then obviously abandon them. If they do work, we keep doing them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it seemed like there was a good. A lot of people like the playlist episodes like idea, that like they listen to a lot of good music off of that. There was like 4 or 3 different episodes that four different versions. There was one that was an easy playlist that had some premiere music by a few artists that are in the country scene.
Yeah.
And then an easy listening type music, and then there was a goth playlist with like some EDM stuff, and then there's the rock one that's the longest one, and then there's another playlist that had like no, shoot. I forget. There was easy listening. I don't know. I think there's 3 or 4 playlists, though, that I made that were just all music from mostly Oklahoma.
Yeah, what you should do, you should ask Micah Wesley to make one for you. I mean, he's a DJ, and so is Skinny. Do you know DJ Skinny?
Yeah, I don't know how that would work with the kind of
He's
music
rad.
it is, but if they can, I mean, I would totally do a mix episode, but like it has to be like the music has to be licensed or it has to be approved by the person. So
Okay.
so you have to have a sync license if you play something that's like there, but if we have permission from the local artist, then we can do it.
Yeah.
But if they were to do a show where they're just DJing and it's like I was talking to them and then they just DJ, that would be cool as shit because but if they could only play local music like that.
They're not
That
used
would
to
be
playing
really
with local music.
No. No DJ is used to playing with local music because
know.
they literally license major music of major artists. So they have sync licensing and they have different licensing and they have licensing to play live and all that kind of stuff. Like they pay for those rights through those apps. So I mean they like that's why it's one of those like I've had there's one episode that has DJ Preeti Undertaker.
Okay.
Or Undertaker Preeti, and she's doing that. She's like mixing and playing all this different music and stuff for me.
Cool.
But let me see, because I'm going through the computer to look for the music that was sent to me. Because we'll play the Costanzas.
Love those guys.
Yeah, they're really good. Like I like their music.
Totally, I do too. I like Derek and Jimmy's a great guy. Mason's awesome drummer. Yeah, they're great guys. They're good music.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm not the right one in.
Blood red, Santa Claus sundown. Blood red, Santa Claus sundown. Blood red, Santa Claus sundown.
That song fucking rocks.
It's Nightlife by the Costanzas.
Of course.
And then, so they told me that they didn't have any actual like recordings of their stuff, but they got live recordings, which I just pulled one up. Lowdown Weasel. Mm-hmm. I got Zip It live at Grand Royale. I don't know how well this sounds though.
I think I heard it. I think I saw that post where they played it. And well, for one thing, it's really dark, but again, but it always is.
But the audio, like, how's that?
The audio, I think, was pretty trashy.
Yeah,
I think it was.
I mean,
I think it was the recording.
It's a loud
It wasn't. It is a really loud place. It's
yeah,
one big hallway.
I wouldn't probably do them justice by doing that to them. So
No, I don't.
yeah, like, because the problem with like recording live, like that with the phones and stuff, is that like only certain models have like the ability to bring the sound down and stuff, and they're like your higher end phones that are like $1,000+
Yeah.
but yeah, your lower end phones, like they pick up a lot of background noise and everything, a lot of condenser mic type stuff's being used.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they're not as good a quality. So I probably wouldn't do that to them. I'd probably let them bring me some actual recordings and stuff. But last week we played the Rumble, and then this week, we have JD on. I was looking at that, like on their page though, they were showing some of the art on on their page here.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Like let me bring that up. That post. We were talking about the show. They had there you go.
Cool page. Yeah.
That's like there's a lot of art on here.
That looks like Antonio Ramirez stuff. That's his stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it looks like his stuff is really good. Like he does graffiti art.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I actually I dig graffiti a lot. So so he's one of the artists. I'll make sure I post that stuff. And I'll probably post a lot of different of the artists that are going to be a part of the show. Because we want to make sure that people know that is coming up. Let me see. So September 23rd.
Next Saturday.
Yeah, it's Core4 Brewing. It's located on Lee in between Maine and Sheridan. But right off Sheridan, there's an entry right next to the Paramount. That's the back entrance. That's where everybody's going to be parked, and that's where probably everybody's going to be at, where all the food trucks are and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's normally where they do the events, where that cider place that's next to it, and then the other, the Paramount.
Yeah.
That's normally where everybody parks for there. So right across the street is like pizza. It's a pretty good pizza place. So
cool.
So hopefully we get a big crowd coming out and everything, and but thank you for having you on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and like I said, it's always a pleasure to have you on, because we talk about photography probably all day long.
I can.
But anyway, just so everybody knows, like JD is a really good photographer, and he's all over the city. You'll find his work like all over online. A lot of times he'll do postings on my groups and stuff too for me. And so, I mean, I greatly appreciate it. I do it all, let him do that just so he can promote his stuff, and it helps me like actually have some content for our pages. So I greatly appreciate that, that you do that for us. But I mean, but yeah, like he puts a lot of time and effort into his work. And so, I mean, if you want a good photographer that's actually going to like go through and take the time and actually find what actually makes you who you are as a band and kind of give you that look and feel to actually make you feel like a rock star.
That's what
it's like
I
what you
do.
like to say, then that's what he does. And so, and then he also shoots around the scene from the concerts and all those different things too. So,
And burlesque.
so I mean, like there's certain things that are listed in the career fields under music, and one of them is actually videographers and photographers. People don't understand how important this stuff is. These people are out here, doing shows and taking videos and all sorts of stuff. Was that you?
I bet it is mine.
But yeah, like, I mean, they're out here like doing like all sorts of work for all these different artists, and a lot of times it's low pay and sometimes no pay.
It's mostly no pay.
Yeah, it's mostly no pay, just like almost everything else in music, out here. So I mean, yeah, I greatly appreciate everything you do for the scene, and
thank you, man.
Really appreciate
I
everything you
enjoy
do for the
doing
show, and yeah. So as for the local Earshot podcast, it is a value for value podcast. I run on 3 tenets: it's time, talent, and treasure. The first T is time. I value everybody's time for listening. I know that there's like a ton of shows out there now, especially music shows are coming up left and right. And I'm being kind of bombarded with them at this point. But I'm glad that, that you chose to listen to the local Earshot. The second T is talent. So if you want to be on the show, you can reach out to me at john@thelocalearshot.com or on the Instagram pages, Facebook, any of those platforms. I'll usually be able to answer through the messenger. And that's the best way to get a hold of me. And the email works better if you want to send me music. I'm going to start doing playlist episodes at the beginning of every month. So if you want to submit music for that, then I'll probably be creating another email that's just there, and I'll put that on the socials of what that email is. So then people can submit actual files so I can organize it better, because going through Spotify and all these different platforms to play your music, or going through YouTube and all that, I have to record to a mixer, and that takes time. So if I have a file where I can just load it into the software and then hit play and just listen to it the first time and know that it's actually just being recorded over to the other file, then that will make my life a lot easier, because it's harder to maintain all this over music and stuff. I ended up having to now I pay for Spotify and Amazon Music and all those different platforms now, just so I can have access without ads and everything playing through all the songs. And then the third T is treasure. So if you want to support the show, you can go over to thelocalearshot.com. There's a tab that says donate. I take crypto, Cash App, Venmo, anything that turns into money. All money goes right back into the show. Right now I'm buying cameras, and so I'm doing everything from a phone and my laptop camera. So these are all webcams. Its quality is not as good as it could be, and so I want to actually get some professional cameras. And then also I'm looking for a studio to start doing podcasting in. If a studio is interested in actually doing podcasting full time, then if you need a manager to come in and manage podcasts, I can totally do that, because I can manage anybody doing this stuff, and I can process and do all the production side of it. Because I know how to do all the setups of all the equipment, and I also know how to do all the software. So thank you for listening to the show.